This Bulls team is just so weird, man. A team that went through a stretch where they lost 8 in 9 games, losing twice to the Pacers, twice to the Pelicans, once to the Hornets, the Nets, the worst of the worst teams in basketball, looking incredibly checked out, completely lost on both ends of the floor, giving up in games, looking frustrated, to now, oh, just kidding, we actually found our rhythm again. We're back to playing the way we did at the start of the season. Now that we're playing against teams that are actually trying to win, we're okay now. And they win back-to-back games against the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, I'm not going to get too excited, one, because it's just 2 games, but also this Cavs team has been playing some pretty bad basketball. I mean, I know they didn't have Donovan Mitchell tonight. Of course, they were without Evan Mobley for these last 2 games, but even still, this team just looks like a shell of the team we saw last season that finished with 64 wins on the year. In fact, the way they're playing, the way the guys are carrying themselves, making so many little mistakes, getting lost on defense, the crowd booing them, kind of reminds me of the Bulls during that 7-game stretch where they lost 7 in a row. I already did a whole video on how this Cavs team is in big trouble on my NBA channel, M1 Hoops. Feel free to check that out. You can find the channel in the description if you're interested. But yeah, man, like the Bulls have looked considerably better, but the Cavs are also playing some of their worst basketball right now. Their defense has been atrocious, giving up 136 points to the Bulls, allowing them to go 52% from the field, 38% from 3, 18 threes in total. But hey, we'll take the wins. The Bulls will take any win they can get at this point to try and crawl their way out of the hole they dug themselves in, losing to all those bad teams. Now, I wouldn't say this game was as good as the game we saw at the United Center, mainly because the Bulls had some stretches in this one where they kind of fell asleep and lost their way a bit as far as what's made them successful. They started off the game down 11-0, were just jacking up threes and not getting inside, when the other night they dominated in the paint and was really the difference maker in that game. Then in the third quarter, the Bulls led by as many as 15 points, I believe, at one point. They were moving the ball well, playing solid defense, turning defense into offense by hustling down the court in transition before the Cavs could get set. And then they made some sloppy plays, allowed the Cavs to go on a quick run to actually take the lead before the end of the third quarter. There was that one really bad sequence where Jalen Smith grabbed a board, didn't secure the ball, let Lonzo come from behind him and steal it. They get an open Garland 3, then immediately turn the ball over on the inbounds and let Garland get another 3 to cut the lead to 1. Little stuff like that, which is very aggravating. And it was kind of the same one-and-done possessions where they take a quick contested 3 that enable the Cavs to come right back into the game and get the crowd back into it. But luckily for the Bulls, they cleaned things up, went back to their game plan, playing with pace, ball movement, player movement, using their depth, especially now that they're fully healthy, to really run their opponent down in the fourth quarter, and took care of business in the fourth. The Bulls had 20 fast break points to the Cavs 7. They scored 21 points off the Cavs 15 turnovers, while the Bulls did a great job of taking care of the ball and not forcing any silly turnovers themselves. And they were strong on the offensive boards in this game, which has always been a struggle for them. 13 offensive rebounds and over 20 second chance points. One of the moves I like that Billy Donovan made, I know, how about that? I'm actually going to be giving Billy some credit, but there was a period in the fourth quarter where the Cavs just kept going down low to Jarrett Allen and letting him finish over Vucevic. They were utilizing the pick and roll because the Bulls haven't been good at defending the pick and roll for quite some time. And so Billy brings in Zach Collins with Vucevic in the double big lineup, and that completely took away the Cavs' ability to run the pick and roll through Allen because Collins could help deter while Vucevic could grab the rebound. Once the Bulls did that, they really took over in the fourth and never looked back. Shout out to Vucevic, man. Another really big game. Came up with some clutch plays once again. How about that bank shot in the final minute? That was really the dagger to put the Bulls up 9. But he was active and aggressive throughout this game. 24 points on 11 for 20 shooting, 2 for 6 from 3, 15 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds alone. That's a rarity for Vucevic, and also a steal and 2 blocks. I've got Vooch in my fantasy league, so that was a big help for me. Josh Giddey was great in this one as well. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 7 assists. He was feeling it in the first half from deep after hitting 5 threes last night, but then really cooled off quite a bit in the second half. Kobe, I feel like is still trying to figure out his rhythm because he's still not shooting well. And eventually you're like, all right, well, are these shots going to start falling? Because the Bulls desperately need his outside shooting. That's what he's been so great at throughout his career. But what I like seeing from Kobe was that when his shot wasn't going down, he was contributing in other ways by getting guys involved, playmaking and generating offense, finding cutters to the basket. 13 points on 5 for 13 shooting, but he did have 9 assists in addition to 6 rebounds. But modest. Big game for him. We needed a big game from Buzelis. After the last few games, we've barely seen him even get up shots. He wasn't demanding the ball, wasn't being aggressive in getting the basket. I mentioned I'm monitoring this situation as a slight concern when it comes to his overall development, but not tonight though. Modest was locked in on both ends, hitting mid-range jumpers, driving to the basket to throw down dunks. 24 points in total for Modest, one of his highest scoring outputs on the season. 9 for 15 shooting from the field. Still figuring out that three-point shot though. He was 2 for 8 in this game from 3. That's actually where all of his misses came from. It was behind the arc. He was making everything else. 24 points, but also 2 blocks and 2 steals. Active hands on defense. That's where we need to see more from Modest. Says he wants to be coached like an all-defensive team player. Needs to start showing up more on that end of the floor. And then Tre Jones. I can't say enough about Tre Jones and how much I appreciate this guy's work ethic and how he impacts the floor. I mean, I know we criticize this guy all the time, but shout out to AK for signing Tre Jones to this bargain contract. He might be one of the biggest steals of a contract in the NBA right now when you compare it relative to his production. Man plays 22 minutes, is a plus 18 when he's on the court in this game, pesky on defense, always pickpocketing the ball away from guys. 22 minutes, 16 points, 5 for 7 shooting. Makes great reads on offense to get guys the right shots. Super high IQ player. Man plays his tail off too. One of the few players I can honestly say gives it his all on every possession that he's out there. You guys know I love players like that. It's good to see Ayo Dosunmu back as well, even in limited minutes, but still productive in those minutes. But man, also Patrick Williams, 5 minutes tonight, 0 points. I don't know. Is this going to be a guy that finds his way out of the rotation here pretty soon with the roster now fully healthy? I don't know. He basically did nothing when he was out there. Anyway, the Bulls get the win. They're back on a winning streak, ladies and gentlemen. Now they've got the Hawks in back-to-back games. We all know the Bulls love going up against Trae Young, who is now back in the lineup for Atlanta. Those games will be on Sunday and Tuesday. Until then, guys, as always, be sure to subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.